So, well, so I guess this is gonna be part two about where I stand. Earlier, I had the doodoo weapons, and now my stomach feels like it hurts, and it feels like a lot of gas and like backed up constipation kind of feel like. Um, but so I got my laundry done, and I got my laundry done, and yeah, as I said in the other video, it seemed like there are some points in time when I feel like I forget that we even having a so-called coronavirus crisis. I don't know. At least over here, it seems like as if, like as if, you know, everything's not 100% normal because they still got that fake ass social distancing nonsense, and still people still walk around wearing masks. But as of now, I no longer really hear about self quarantining or curfews or stay at home orders anymore. I mean, I think I heard that California and New York are still on lockdown, but we okay over here, you know. um, so, but it seems like everything's not 100% back open. Well, they said that I think it was Memorial Day weekend, the city pools are back open, but they're having like less capacity, and I can't go anyway since I'm wrongfully banned. Since I got fired and wrongfully banned, you know, for standing up for my rights and standing up to people when I got wrongfully fired from the YMCA. So can't go to the pools anyway. And people like them, they'll make. They're supposed to be a Christian organization now. Now, even when I got banned, wrongfully banned and set up and lied on at that so-called cold weather shelter from that so-called Christian church. You know, yeah, what does God say about forgiveness? But yeah, I'll be the type of person like they wronged me. And that's how narcissistic abusers. That's how they do. They abuse you or they wrong you and then punish you for, and you're not allowed to, even if you didn't stand up for yourself, and then they make it like as if you have to be punished for a long time or in trouble for a long time, you know. So, um, like, so I'm, not allowed to go to the pools and UWF campus. I have not heard them or any schools being open back up. I mean, I guess they'll probably be shut down for the summer. I mean, if I had to go back on the streets, I do not do the Washburn Center or Waterfront Mission. And the way they got the buses running on a Saturday schedule, everything is hectic. And then there's like a modified schedule for the military buses, at least the one that goes to the ones that go to the beach. So I'm glad I haven't taken the bus in a little while. You know, what a relief. And it's like been just trying to avoid taking the buses. I mean, bus drivers, they put passengers' lives in danger and can still keep their job. Not only me, but there was another passenger who that one of the bus drivers oppressed her too, and stuff like that. So, more than half of the bus drivers are, you know, more than half of the bus drivers of this you know bus company is perps and abusive, a very abusive. Um, so like the buses are still free and run every 2 hours. I really hate that inconvenience of that they're running on a Saturday schedule and running every 2 hours. I just wish everything would get back to normal, and also, you know, just everything the way it was pre-coronavirus. You know, I mean, just this change right here is very depressing. You know, and then I heard about the second wave of coronavirus hit, and it's like some people try to say that they reopened our American government. You know how funny how right after they reopened our American government, that's when you hear about the China with their second wave. You know, excuse me, but I might have to, you know, I really hate this uncertain lifestyle I'm forced to live as a targeted individual. On my other channel, before it got deleted, I did a video talking about how I never last long anywhere. Like everything has to be temporary. Can't last long on a job if I do get one. Can't last long living somewhere. I mean, everything has to be temporary and short term. I mean, even if I live somewhere, every time I move or live somewhere, I always have to almost immediately pack my stuff and leave. I mean, I'm surprised that I lasted as long as I did at Janet's house. You know, um, it's like everything seems uncertain. And I'm gonna say it again. Thanks again for the financial help. You know who you are, all of you, the few of you. um, so um, I don't know. I guess after at least Friday, I'd be lucky if I could be somewhere until at least Saturday. But then I guess after Saturday or Sunday, definitely I might have to spend a couple of nights on the streets. And then, you know, if there's no new stimulus check or no more stimulus check, I might have to go back to square one with being back homeless on the streets downtown. And, you know, if I stay, if I move, I mean, if I come back here, even though this is the cheapest, cheapest kind of hotel stay, if I come back here, even here, and stay for a week, that's the most that my money, if I get my regular income, that's the most that will allow me to do. If I come here and stay here for a week, I'll be comfortable just for a week with a roof over my head. And if there's no second stimulus check, it won't be enough, you know, for me to go and get my own place, like that cottage that I was looking at, or a few other places that's advertised. And I can only be comfortable for a week and then be back on the streets for the next 3 weeks. You know, so either that or I might have to just. That's what I've been having to do, even pre-coronavirus. Every month, I might be lucky if I get, the last time, like before February and March with, what's that, Catholic Charities and Opening Doors that failed me. They so-called helped me, but before February, November, I think it was my last check that I worked for with that other job. November was the last time I got to stay in a hotel. December and January, or a motel, or whatever. December and January, I had to stay, and it was freaking cold too, freezing. I mean, like cold. I mean, I had the doggone winter shelter, but then there's no more winter shelter. Even if it was still winter and cold, I'm wrongfully banned from there. You know, so winter shelter, no more. You know, and so then February for 1 week, and then March for 1 week. Catholic Charities helped me, but they said they're not gonna help me no more. That I have to go start from the bottom, start this process all over again with Opening Doors. And the white girl Lauren, who was my case manager. Now, Opening Doors is supposed to be a Christian organization, but I heard that they get people to run around and manipulative and don't really help you. You know, same experience with the organization in New Orleans. Is like it's, in New Orleans, is simply the organization is called Unity. Those ignorant Project Ghetto New Orleans people like, did you go over there to Unity? And they don't say Unity, they say Unity. Did you go over there to Unity? You need to go over there to Unity. Whenever I go to Unity, they never help. You know? So, New Orleans and here, basically I was, left hanging. You know, and I felt psychologically and mentally traumatized and scarred about, you know, having an apartment lease. And I got frustrated with the torment and abuse and gang stalking that I told myself, I'm not signing any more apartment leases. They left me traumatized with their severe abuse. You know, that they try to, those perp people at the Section 8 office and stuff, they started off being nice in the West Bank, and then next thing you know, they try to, what was that they were trying to tell me? Yeah, I had to hear a lecture about how you signed a legally binding document. So no, you can't be let out of your lease. But what the landlord signed a legally binding document, there was a legally binding document that they promised for me to live, peace, the in landlord apartment leases or whatever, and that the landlord promises tenants a peaceful, quiet enjoyment, and they basically wouldn't tolerate noise. You know, noise is supposedly not tolerated here, but the lady next door, I mean, she's not blaring her TV super super loud, but it's loud enough that it's bothersome to me. So that's why I have my earphones in. I don't know if she still has her TV on because I have my earphones in, but um, you know, they might feel like I'm talking too loud. But it's like I'm kind of deaf because with my earphones in, um, I can't really hear myself outside, so that's why I would be talking loud. You know, not realizing how loud I'm talking with these earphones in. So I guess the TV must be turned off. So um I'm taking these earphones off now. But my stomach kind of feeling better a little bit. Um yeah, I'm sitting there scared of my diet, the way my diet has been lately. You know, it ain't that been the healthiest, living off of Dollar Tree and fake Walmart, I mean, and then microwaving almost every meal. That ain't healthy. That ain't, I mean, at least I'm surviving, but I'm kind of scared about my health deteriorating, you know, um, scared of my health deteriorating I mean, I had the last of my peanut butter and like I had two sandwiches for dinner and I had, um, two boiled eggs and some bread on one sandwich, and then just like that, and then on the other sandwich, the last a little peanut butter and a little bit of honey on it. And for lunch, I had noodles. And for breakfast, I had the last of the little frosted wheat cereal and milk, of course, with the cereal. And the last a little bit of that and the burrito and the apple for breakfast. You know, I mean, I had those cup noodles for lunch, and I had a couple of snacks throughout the day. You know, but it's like me trying to be scared. You know, I'm sorry, me being scared and trying to watch out for hoping that I don't have excess sugar for the day or excess fat for the day or excess sodium for the day. I mean, because I used to be the type that I would be like depressed and overeat for more than half of my life, for many years of my life. And so after all the health stuff and not realizing I was targeted, you know, in 2016 and 2017, um, with my diet and everything, it seemed like I had lost a lot of weight and then gained it back. I lost a lot of weight, more like trying, and I had my own place at the time too, so it was easier for me to eat better and eat healthier. I lost a lot of weight, and I had got down to 192, and that was the lowest I ever weighed since before I turned 18 years old. You know, um, but it's like it's like if I next month Janet is gone for sure now, so I mean she she was trying to talk me. So I mean, if I would have took that test, it would have defeated the purpose, and she would have kicked me out anyway and moved to down to Miami. You know, so I don't know if this was all part of the plan. I don't know, but one thing I'm glad she showed me this place. To me, this place seems decent where I'm at. Ow. It's not too dirty. It's not really that bad being here. Um, except when the perps come with the noise harassment or whatever. That's bad. But other than that, they seem okay here. They're not really mean here. Um, so I mean, like I just know that next month, I guess if I wanted a respite or needed a respite, see, I was able to stay in the hotel because I guess Catholic Charities had a contract with Days Inn, but the people were abusive and mean and like the staff there were abusive and mean and perping me and some of the guests that stayed there were perping me too, and just acting weird. So at that day's end, um, I finally got my credits. I thought I wasn't gonna get them, but they had this black lady that worked the front desk, and I could tell she had a judgmental, hateful kind of attitude with me, and I don't know. I mean, she treated me in the same way, like as if my twin sister or if another family member put something in somebody's head and make them think a certain way about me. That's how she treated me. And she acted like as if she knew all about me, you know. And then she made it like as if because Catholic Charities paid for my hotel stay, she tried to make it like as if she thought that I didn't deserve the extra points that, if you stay there a certain amount of days or whatever, and eventually you get free points. I mean, you get points towards at least a free night or so of hotel stay or free week or whatever. But they're way more expensive than over here though. So they consider this a discount hotel because you do your own housekeeping and room service or whatever. You do it all yourself. You know, but one thing I'm worried about the danger of having to microwave everything. Well, not everything, but almost every meal. And I forgot to say in the other video too that I still have some of those MREs, the meals ready to eat that I've been living off of, but they are mostly carb and not healthy at all, really. I mean, they think they're being healthy by just being reduced sodium, but they got all those chemicals in it, and it's mainly like pasta, different kinds of pasta, like vegetable lasagna, which is, you can count how many like uh chickpeas or beans that's in the lasagna. I mean, so-called lasagna, and it's mainly pasta. It's not any vegetables in it, and it's of course in tomato sauce. And then with the MRE, they have the Pop Tarts, brown sugar flavored Pop Tarts, and then they have crackers and jam, like jelly, like grape or strawberry jelly jam, whatever. So, I mean, if a person's trying to watch their weight or trying to avoid becoming diabetic or whatever, or if a person is diabetic, you know, it seems like it's just, junk carbs and stuff. It ain't really healthy for you, but it's just enough to make your stomach feel satisfied or feel full, but it ain't really healthy, for you. So, um, yeah. So they closed my case at Catholic Charities, and you know, I heard that that's what the perps want to do, keep you homeless. You know, homeless, jobless, and even though they got some homeless perps too. But before you judge somebody, well, isn't that amazing that a lot of us targeted individuals, whether homeless or not, a lot of us aren't on drugs? You know, but just think about it. If somebody is homeless on drugs, you know, like they had that stereotype that, homeless, drugs, lazy, and don't want to work. You're homeless and mentally ill or homeless. That's what people think about homeless people. That you're homeless and you're homeless because you're mentally ill, or you're homeless because you're on drugs, or you're homeless because you're lazy and don't want to work, or a combination of all three. You know, those stigmas and stereotypes with homeless people, that in New York City, when I was there in 2006, homelessness was considered a mental illness. Just to not have a home, they consider you mentally ill in New York City. So then they had this program called mental hygiene or something like that. And they are brutal. And you know, it's like a lot of those Caribbean and uh, African people in New York, the Jamaicans and Trinidadian people, or Trinidad, however you pronounce it, a lot of Jamaicans and Haitians and stuff in New York have traumatized me in the same way that the Mexicans traumatized me in Los Angeles. You know, and it seemed like in New York, and I mean, they have some Afro Puerto Ricans and regular Puerto Ricans, I mean, non-African Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Some of the in New York, some of the Dominicans look Puerto Rican, and then vice versa. You can't tell who's Puerto Rican or Dominican. But it seemed like they all oppressed me out there in New York. You know, I wasn't allowed to get the opportunity to live normal in New York, and didn't realize I was gang stalked out there too. Everything was all fine, and everybody was just about all fine at that shelter until the foster mom, when they told me that they needed my birth certificate, and I didn't know any better. I didn't know I was targeted. But after the foster mom got in their head, that's when everybody started oppressing and perping me and being more abusive. You know, so I mean, it's really crazy the idea of me feeling more. I mean, I don't like. I want to be able to have my own place, a permanent and steady place of my own. Wishing I could have my own house. You know, I did not get to live up the dreams that I wanted to, like the stuff I dreamed as a child that I would be as an adult. It's making me feel like I have zero control over my own life. I thought when I was a teenager and a child, I dreamed of having a three-story house with a swimming pool, and like an indoor swimming pool and jacuzzi. And that's what I used to dream of when I was younger. And I thought I was going to be that successful doctor, um, and have a Spanish speaking husband, like, because I majored in Spanish and stuff. I thought I would be that. I mean, and I was always fascinated with Latin culture and everything. But now, I don't care about Latinos no more. I don't care about any special kind of specific race or color of people. All I think is mankind is fucking evil. Make me. I don't put my heart on nobody no more. You know, Everything's a failure. You know, and there's this video that I plan to do maybe tomorrow about this guy recently. This Latin guy I was supposed to date, but he disappeared. Um, so yeah. So next month is gonna be that month. Well, it's like more like I end up on the streets anyway, but you know, it's gonna be. I mean, I heard rumors. I hope it ain't true, but I heard rumors that they're either gonna take the corona. They're saying that the stimulus check from the coronavirus is not free. That they're gonna either take this money out of our social security check, or if you pay taxes or whatever, take it from your taxes or make you pay back in taxes or something like that. They're saying that this was all a scam or all a fake. That they're gonna make everybody pay it back. Just like I heard with the FEMA and Hurricane Katrina, I heard that some of the people were forced to pay some of that money back. You know, They're trying to say that the stimulus check was just a loan in disguise, you know. So that's disappointing to not be sure whether or not I'm gonna get a Social Security or SSI check next month. Next month for the month of June. If I have no check, then I'll be fucked, very fucked, and won't be able to pay my storage bill or my phone bill or nothing. You know, I guess I'll have to ditch everything and then go live out in nature and study whatever I can before, whatever doggone survival skills. I mean, I've read up on quite a bit of survival skills, but I had never had been in a predicament to practice to put them to use, you know. And I'm kind of scared of, trying to go out in a secluded area and, how people talk about live off the grid or live off the land. And I don't have the money. I mean, I heard some people find a way to live primitively, you know. They said that living off the grid or whatever is blood, sweat, and tears, that it ain't easy and it ain't fun. It's a lot of hard freaking work, you know. But they say it's better that we think that convenience is in this what kind of way is easier and better, But they said that if you are microchipped and tracked, even if I had no cell phone or nothing, I've told y'all about moments where I walked with no cell phone and they gang stalked me more worse and more heavily than when I do carry my cell phone, which is strange. Maybe they're threatened by that cell phone. Maybe they're threatened by my phone, because there were times when I had no phone and would still experience the sleep deprivation or whatever electronic harassment. If I can have no phone and no computer and still experience the same stuff. So, I mean, it's like if I do get just Social Security and SSI and there be no stimulus check next month, they keep playing with us, you know. So I just got frustrated and said, I'm not gonna depend on the government with another stimulus check. You know, um, they just, I heard that some people say that with the stimulus check, they just grooming us to think that the government is on our side, and they're also doing this. I heard that they say Trump ain't no nice person. Y'all know Trump ain't generous like that. Some people say that Trump is pretending to be nice and just using the stimulus checks so he can get more votes for this coming election. They say Obama did this, that had the what's that other let's see, swine flu and Ebola what happened when Obama was president. So here goes Trump and the coronavirus thing. Uh, yeah, Trump was president when Hurricane Harvey, all those crazy hurricanes in 2017. Yeah, yep, the neighbor still got the dog on TV on. Stupid asses. They're just being made to be dumber. So, they're saying that Trump is just pretending to be all nice just for more votes or whatever for this coming election. But I don't know about that. That's just stuff people are saying. And could be real, could be fake. I don't know because I'm not into politics. I'm into truth. Um, I usually a lot of times stay away from politics. Always stayed away from politics, but and I never was. sided with Democrat or Republic. I just stay away from all of it. But it helped me learn a little bit more with my New World Order research. So, um, like, um, speaking of trying to get a job, they had this job opportunity I was supposed to get. What's it called? Um, Smart Shift or something like that. Some people say they're a scam. Oh no, Shift Smart. And what happened was, like, it was 2 weeks ago. I tried to look into applying for the job, and what happened was, the perps. When I was talking to the people on the phone, and the perps kept hanging the phone up on purpose or not allowing me to get through to talk to the people. And then they kept promising me to send that they were gonna send me an email. It was an online job. It was supposed to be like a job where you ask people political questions. And they kept saying that we're gonna send you a text message. They never sent me a text message. You know, and it was supposed to be a work at home job or online job. Cambly with the the ESL teaching people English or having a conversation with English. Cambly never Cambly they never responded to me. And you don't need special certification to work for Cambly. Um, so I mean, it's like, wow. So yeah, I had a hard time with that Shift Smart job, and they kept calling me, calling me, calling me, calling me. And then one person who was trying to get the screening going, an interview on the phone, he started to act like a perp and have an attitude with me, and it's another reason I'm like, fuck it. But as I say, they never sent me the email. That could have been an easy job. That was $10 an hour and work when you want and however many hours you want and stuff. So um next month is gonna be one of those months that I might have to stay on the streets all month if I get my Social Security and SSI check. Cause it's like I had to choose between eating decent and staying on the streets, or you know get to spend a luxury week in a motel room, but have to eat like crap for the rest of the month, and plus not have enough money and then go back to begging on the streets. I mean, go back to panhandling and begging. Usually when I try to eat healthier, if I have to stay on the streets, like maybe about I'm good until like maybe about the 25th of the month. That's when I have to start panhandling and begging for like a day or two just for a couple of meals, or for some laundry money, or well, bus fare. I don't have to worry about bus fare anymore, but bus fare, laundry, and meals. You know, just getting by day to day to survive, because being targeted, like places like the Washburn Center and the Waterfront Mission are surefire ways, or in certain ways, to have scenarios to set me up. Set me up to get mad and have an outburst. I don't even go to the homeless soup kitchens or nothing. Like on Tuesdays, they would have this church called Eden Fellowship, and they would have this demonic, dirty, homeless guy named Thurston who was like in at least about in his 50s, and he would brag. I mean, he would go there and he would brag about how he's a how he used to be a Satanist and stuff like that, and he bragged about it, like how he used to be a Satanist or whatever. And now I think he said he used to be in the military also, but now he's like a grown ass baby. He's sloppier than a damn baby, you know? And that and a couple other reasons why they had that Stevie guy who was abusive and narcissistic, and Stevie would perp me. Um, and last time I was there, you know, the so-called Christian pastor's wife, um, was rude to me. So I never went back, you know. But I mean, she got frustrated with me and treated me like as if I asked for too much when I was trying to ask for assistance for both me and the roommate and her son, you know. But before then, Miss Tammy never acted like that, you know. I've been going there since January, and then she's nice, was nice until I mean I guess that first weekend, that first Sunday, she loved me enough that she was willing to go out of her way and drive all the way, to where, Janet's apartment and deliver us food, And then a couple of days later, I mean, she drives a red Ford Explorer too, Miss Tammy. So, you know, and I was speaking the truth about the coronavirus being 5G cover up, and the whole church was mad at me and wanted to attack me or whatever, you know. But you know, the church pastors use the coronavirus thing. They use the coronavirus thing as an opportunity to talk about fear of man, or and try to direct your focus on the fear of the Lord rather than fear of man. So you know they practice the social distancing, but they said that they were gonna try to stay. Even the Washburn Center, that guy that runs the place, they said that they were gonna try to stay, help people out and stay as long as they needed to. So, but I'm never going back to the Washburn Center because that guy that he threatened to cut me up and stab me. He threatened to cut me up or whatever. And then later on, that other guy, that the gay guy that had been perping me, he pulled out a knife on the bus. And it was a perp. I think I remember it was a perp bus driver that day. So I'm like, oh shit. Like, so it's like at least two people in one day threatened me with a knife. So that's why I didn't even bother. You know, won't even bother going back. And that owner of the Washburn Center, he made a false promise to me. I mean, I understand he said that his mom had a heart attack or something like that, but he never reached that. He told me I qualified, and he got aggravated with me, and I only called him only once now to follow up on our meeting that we had. I called only once to follow up, and he got mad and screamed at me and treated me like I was pestering him. And earlier I mean, the volunteers that work there, they're pretty rude and stuff like that. So, when I called, was one of the guys who was abusive and rude. Like, all these people, these so-called homeless, fake Christian church people, they are abusive and rude towards a female, like very harsh, like as if they're sexist or something like that. And so one of the guys had an attitude and was very nasty on the phone. And then when I talked to the guy who runs the Washburn Center, he got an attitude with me and said, "I'm trying to run the center." And so I never bothered to, you know, contact him again, at least for a while until I went to had no choice but to break down and go there. I was gonna try to take a shower at the Washburn Center. It was that, but they said that because of the coronavirus thing, a lot of people, the volunteers stayed home, so they didn't open the showers. But that guy had threatened to cut me up and stuff. I cut up people who act like they think they're too good to be here. That's what he said. And he was on camera. I mean, he was on camera too. And so the mic guy who runs the place had told him to leave, but he didn't say he wasn't gonna call the police. So I mean, um, when I tried to tell the volunteers, they didn't want to help me, and I didn't know if Mike was there because the fact that I was supposed to stay at this place was called, even though it was like an outside, it's more like an off the grid kind of thing, but it's like outside, and it's called Satoshi Forest. I was supposed to go stay, like have a spot at Satoshi Forest, even though it's outdoor living, but it's more like a homeless camp area that's supposed to be a safe place. And there's a video about the Satoshi Forest, on YouTube. But you know, I um, throughout this winter, I didn't get the opportunity to go. I mean, Mike, I guess he tells everybody that there's no room, but he told me that there was space for me and that I qualified. And it seemed like every time he tried to help me out, there was some interruption. Like he kept being interrupted all that afternoon with different things. And then his mom had a heart attack, and so he couldn't help me like he wanted to. Then he got aggravated with me, and so I don't know. I mean, me sitting here feeling like I felt like after all what I went through with the homeless life and the struggle, I mean, even though sometimes I feel more peace on the streets by myself, secluded, but then they bother me there and gang stalk me there too. But it's like I'm sitting here feeling like after this battle, now I guess it probably would have been more worth it to, keep a roof over my head rather than, the struggle, you know, because I got frustrated. Yes, they gained. I guess that what they wanted, the goal to be to run you out. Because other targeted individuals who have a place, they say the same thing that the gang stalkers, try to run them from them, try to run them away from their own place of residence. Trying to run you out of your own residence. And so, I know this would take too much of a long time to just talk more and talk it out because there's so much stuff that happened. So don't try to judge me just yet now. But there's so much stuff that happened. Um, you know that I was that bad. I didn't know I was gang stalked that time. But I guess if I knew then what I know now and had enough support, then that probably could have helped me stay there. But even when I was at Janet's place, with the loud music from the neighbors and stuff, I felt like, okay, homelessness is better than this. Shucks. I mean, how you had to freaking feel that way, that, being tortured and tormented and can't get peace. Getting no quiet moment, you know, and when I had my place, the Ted Vicious guy in Jefferson, Louisiana, part of New Orleans, he was the crackhead perp who lived a few blocks down, but acted like he dominated and ran our neighborhood. The Ted Vicious guy rev up the truck at exactly 3:15 a.m. and then exactly 6:15 a.m. and off and on throughout the day. And every time I try to post a video up on YouTube about it, YouTube deletes my video. I mean, when I showed a video of him harassing me with the revving up the truck and me calling the police, I didn't know I was targeted at the time. Well, I mean, I heard about targeted individuals, but I didn't realize I was one of them. You know, and it's like I probably could have still to this day had my Section 8, but at the same time, I don't know if I would have been brutally beaten or if I would have been murdered or if they were just perps that's just talking shit and threatening me. But it's like my life felt threatened. You know, that is the torture is unbearable. Like I have hypersensitive ears and I'm just very hypersensitive. Very hypersensitive. And that's why some people think I might have Asperger's syndrome, you know. Um and plus my weird social life, I don't talk to nobody really, be by myself most of the time. So, you know, it's like I don't understand how do people say that gang stalking, even regular stalking and gang stalking, they say it's hard to prove. They say rape is hard to prove, you know. Um you know, I figure people do, like if you're gang stalking targeted and you try to show proof, they do the same thing as when a woke person or a truther points the truth or expose the truth and show their evidence about the truth of these conspiracies. But the main thing that they want that the insiders or wicked people do is shut you down by saying there are no evidence to support these claims. And then they just go along with the mainstream beliefs and say that that's the truth. But we showing you I like real truth, and then they'll throw it out the window and say there's no evidence to support those claims. Well, how? Well, how? What you mean no evidence when we showing you the evidence? Shucks. I can say that this cup has been has been used. You see that? I drunk out this cup. You see? But then I can be like, well, you see, I drunk out this cup. Then it might be like, well, there's no evidence to support the claims that she that she drunk out that cup or whatever. Or you can say like, here's the coconut oil right here. There's no evidence to support the claims that this really is coconut oil. That can be glue. That can be Elmer's glue. But here I'm showing you it is coconut oil. It smells like and looks like coconut oil. It smells like coconut oil and tastes as coconut oil. I mean, it tastes like coconut oil. And they'll say that there is no evidence to support those claims. And that might be glue. That might be Elmer's glue. That's how people do. It's just freaking retarded. But we're the crazy ones. So I have been told that I deserve to get hurt by confronting the gang stalkers who do the noise harassment. That I deserve to get hurt. And I deserve to get killed. Like I don't have a right to confront them or I don't have a right to live in peace, but they have a right to harass an innocent person for no reason at all. You know. Um so yeah, that's probably how I'm gonna have to stand next month. If I get no check, no money, then I would have to be forced to I probably have an outstanding storage bill and be forced to get rid of everything and give everything away and throw away my medical records and have nowhere to store anything, you know. And me, I carry around as little bit as possible on me when I'm homeless on the streets and try to stay clean and try to. Was given to advice to not allow yourself to look homeless because if you do, in which I've experienced it, you know, you see, uh, the blanket. Well, not the purple one. Well, I guess if I'm downtown and I carry any blanket, people would know I'm homeless. You know, so and the way I was treated with the blatant discrimination on Christmas Day or that night, that I was treated with discrimination, and I had that on film and the perps on film, but it got deleted on my other channel. You know, it was 3 day, no, like 3 or 4 days. Well, it was a few days before that man tried to tell me the police got me under surveillance. You know, I'm so glad I haven't seen that man since April 3rd. You know, I have not seen him since. You know, but that's the man who goes around and tells every restaurant how to treat me. I mean, he is freaking, I mean, an old ass white man, he's freaking militant. Militant. And, you know, going around, you know, telling everybody how to harass me. And he harasses me and himself. I mean, the man is fucking crazy. And then trying to make it like I'm crazy. I'm like, how can you gonna call me crazy? You don't even know me at all. You don't know me. And I'm surprised he never even called my name Candy or anything like that. Like, how can you tell me the police got you under surveillance, but do you even know what my name is? Do you know my name? Do you know where I'm from? What do you, what you, I'm telling you, son, the police got you under surveillance. Motherfucker. Well, guess what? God has you under surveillance, and you're going to fry in hell with your best friend Satan. You know, keep letting Satan fuck you in the ass, faggot. He's a freaking pedophile that like to make sexual advances at those 17-year-old military kids. You know, he harasses them too. I ain't the only one who he harasses. You know, he sometimes bully and harass random people. You know, that man he himself needs to be locked up. Like he needs to be locked up in prison. And I heard it's been the talk of the town. Like they say he owns a nice. They say he owns a nice big ass house downtown, but he likes to hang out with the homeless and recruit them into the gang stalking. I witnessed it myself that he recruits other homeless and gay. I mean, then he likes to when he go to out to eat. I mean, if you have your own place, why you go to Bodacious every day? You know, ever since you know the guy who talking about how he likes what he said. He said, "Oh, I like videos." The young perp. So I mean, at first at Bodacious, they used to love me, and they used to give me free food. You know, I didn't ask for it. You know, or they would pay. They would love me enough that they would pay for a meal for me out of their money, little money that they have, and you know, give me a few little extra, you know, stuff. But then those people, before my eyes, it was after I got fired from the YMCA, was the first time I saw that man that follows me around. But before then, it was a black man that followed me around, a black young guy that followed me around. And one time, like around the beginning of the coronavirus thing, or just before, or somewhere around, that was the first and only time he tried to be the black one, tried to be nice. And he didn't even look all the way black. He looked like he could have had something mixed in him. You know, he had, you know, the wavy hair and like lighter brown skin. But he would follow me around. Um, and I wasn't sure whether or not he was homeless or not. But the white weird ass guy with the young kid with the mohawk, his eyes look like James Holmes. Any video I do on him, YouTube won't let me upload it, or I get reported, or I get a video strike or whatever. But that guy, he never tells me anything, but he just has this hypnotized look on his eyes, and he followed me around. But I don't think he's homeless because I saw him with look like, I wouldn't say car keys. He probably had a freaking truck, and he didn't start following me around and gang stalking me until the first night that I worked that janitorial job after the YMCA. And then there are some people who follow me around in their vehicles, like the white female who followed me around with one headlight with a deceitful looking smile on her face, and she drive like a green Chevy Tahoe or something. I don't think it's a Suburban. I think it's a Tahoe. And they used to have, the person, I can never see the person's face that would follow me around in the Kia Soul, a green Kia Soul. They stopped following me around everywhere. For a brief moment, a few times, that person with the purple Buick Encore, once that person got exposed, he left me alone. The person with the baby blue Mitsubishi Outlander would act erratic and drive around with the emergency flashers on. Wait till you get by me, and then drive around and act in a way that's bizarre and make me intimidated and afraid. It's a freaking female. I couldn't tell whether or not she was white or Latina, like Hispanic or white. Once I said, "Gang stalker!" She left me alone, and I never saw her again. So within the past couple of months, they used to have, like when I was by Janet, every time I went out the door and walked down the stairs, just at that exact moment, the white GMC Terrain SUV would pass by every time I walked out the door. Every time. And then they had the lady who was the perp who was some kind of way related to the Janet's neighbors downstairs who made all that noise. That perp drove a raggedy white Subaru and had a red shirt and drove around with one hand like, well, she tried to ask Janet a question, but then one day on our way to the park, she was perping me, and she following us, so, harassing, So I'm done with this video, and I'm going to do one more video tonight, and I don't care who gets offended, but it needs to be done. I don't care who get mad. Fuck y'all. So I'll see y'all later. Be prepared to get mad next video.